I can't afford that. How can I afford to do it? Now just think about that change in I can't afford it to how can I afford it. It's very similar, but it's completely different in your mind on how that works. Hi, my name's Darren Wright. I'm your real estate investor. I used to say that all the time. I can't afford that. I can't afford to do that. I just don't have the money for it. Now, early in my 20s, when I was a qualified electrician in England, I used to work on the side for a house flipper. He was a builder and he used to buy properties, he used to fix them up and then he'd sell them. And I loved the process and always wanted to do it. And he made good money doing it. I mean, he had me working like a slave for not much money, as well as other trades as well. He was very efficient at what he did. He was always buying properties very cheap, and he was very creative on how he was selling the properties to people. He was selling the properties cheaper on a mortgage than what it was to rent them, and he was helping out with a down deposit as well. So he was very creative. And I always admired the little lessons that I learned from him, but I could never afford to do it. I had a young family at home and I needed my full-time job, and I was doing these side jobs and we earned a good living, but we spent it. We went on vacations and we used to get, take out foods, go to restaurants. Kids were spoiled, they had every little cuddly toy going and other toys that they don't even remember now. Now, I wish I'd have been more sensible with my money then and got into doing that. I'd have been a billionaire by now, and then my kids would live a completely different lifestyle. So I spent the money then instead of reinvesting it. But it was a mindset. My mindset was, I cannot afford to do that. I cannot afford to take the risk and risk what I'm doing now for it. So now that I've had, the coaching, I've changed my mindset, I've spent a lot of time and money on self-development, to improve what I'm thinking and how I can do this. Now I say, how can I afford to do it? Now just think about that change in I can't afford it to how can I afford it. It's very similar, but it's completely different in your mind on how that works. Because now you're working at how can I afford it? What can I do different? So if you have any ideas on how you've changed in self-development, I'd love to hear them in the comments. And obviously like and share this to other people if you like. But I want to walk through with you my buying process. So right now we buy apartment buildings and they're very expensive, obviously. But my thought process is when I'm always looking for them, and when a deal comes along, obviously I'm looking at the location first. I obviously don't want to overpay for something in a bad location. It doesn't matter how much you spend, or maybe you build a brand new property. If it's in the wrong location, if it's in a high crime, vandalism, they're going to ruin that property. So location is one of them, and then I'm going to look at the numbers to see, do those numbers work for me, and if they do, it's going to make money, and cash flow each month. It's got principal paid band. We can do value add to it. We can really increase our portfolio. Then it's a goal. But then I have to work on, well, now how can I buy it? I still don't have money to just go out and pay cash for a property. It's always got to be financed from somewhere. So instead of thinking, well, I don't have the money because I don't have the money sat in a bank ready to go, I have to ask myself, okay, here are the obstacles. How can I afford this? How can I get the down deposit? How can I qualify for the bank? How can I, bring it all together and purchase this? And just changing that little mindset has enabled me to buy, multiple buildings as well, because then you're partnering up with other people with the same mindset of saying, how can I afford it? How can we afford it? How can we bring this deal together? So remember those words, how can I? And I'll guarantee it'll change your life.